everybody. How are we doing? So we are talking Resident Evil, the final chapter, Resident Evil 7, if you want to call it that. This is going to be my ending scene explained, the ending of the movie explained to you. There are spoilers in this video, so if you don't want spoilers, do not watch any further. Where do we start here? Um, as far as the ending is concerned of this film, a lot of stuff is happening. Um, Once Alice finally gets into the hive and gets to like the main control area, that's when things get really interesting. Alice ends up finding out that she is just a copy. She thinks she's an original, like she is the original Alice, but she's not. She's an actual copy, and Dr. Isaacs had multiple copies of himself as well, as we find out. But this is a shocking feeling for Alice, and it turns out that Alice was actually Dr. Lucas's daughter, who had the situation where she aged like 5 times like every year. So at the age of 25, you see the real Alice come out, and she comes out as an old woman, or appears to be an old woman, and that is the original real Alice. And this personally for me threw me for such a loop, because I never played the games much, but I've been following the movies ever since they started coming out. And this scene in particular was really, really mind blowing, because I was like, wow, you're finding out so much information about the truth between Alice. And Alicia is the old woman's name, Alicia Lucas, and who is the little red queen girl that's in the hive, that controls the hive. So from that, Alice still has to get the antivirus back out into the public in the next 5 to 10 minutes or whatever. Otherwise, everyone is doomed on Earth. So Alice has the power to be able to save everybody. So she has to end up, getting out of the hive with the antivirus. And her friend Claire from the other movie is there with her, and she ends up helping. But they end up running into Dr. Isaacs again, who they end up having a huge ass fight, and then it eventually leads to Alice and Dr. Isaacs fighting in the laser chamber from the original first movie, which I personally thought was really, really, really cool, because I love when sequels or another movie of the same series looks back to like the original movie, and you see scenes or you see a set or something from the original film, and I just think that's really awesome. So from that point, she ends up going through the laser chamber, and Dr. Isaacs has the antivirus with him in his coat pocket, and Dr. Isaacs sends her through the laser chamber. She gets through the lasers, no problem, and then Dr. Isaacs grabs her arm and lifts her arm up as one of the lasers comes by, and it cuts her fingers off. So she starts screaming and all that. But when when he looks down at her, he sees that she's pulled out a pin of a grenade, and he's like, "What the hell?" When he went to go grab her, she slipped a grenade in his other jacket pocket. And what happens in this situation is it leads to him like kind of blowing up a little bit. And he falls down to the ground, and because he's like a computer, his system like has to reboot, so she uses this time to go run out to the surface to go and release the antivirus. But once she gets up there, what happens is, because Dr. Isaacs had cloned himself, his other clone that came on the tank is running, because he jumped out of the tank earlier on in the movie, and he's running with the horde of zombies. He's running all the way to the opening of the hive, and as Alice gets out there, she's ready to drop the antivirus so it exposes into the air system, or just exposes into the air. And what happens is the Dr. Isaacs that she fought in the laser chamber reboots, and he comes out, and now he is questioning like what's going on, and as he sees his copy come up, Dr. Isaac's copy, and Dr. Isaac's copy with the horde of zombies behind him is like, no, 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 this can't be, this can't be. I'm the only original one, and then the other one is like, no, I'm the original, blah blah blah. But then the copy ends up stabbing the original Dr. Isaacs, and that Dr. Isaacs ends up dying. You know, you see it go down to 0% on his computer, and then he, excuse me, then he ends up dropping to the ground, and then from that point, the horde of zombies comes up and just rips Dr. Isaacs apart. And as this is happening, you see that Alice realizes that as soon as she drops the antivirus, not only is it going to destroy all the zombies on Earth and all the monsters, it's also going to kill her because she has the T virus in her system, which was why she was immune to the virus in general. So as soon as she drops it, you see the chemical from the antivirus hits the air, and all the zombies just start dropping in hordes, like in waves. And then it starts going throughout the earth, and then of course you see Alice drop to the floor, and it looks like she dies. So then it fades out, and it opens back up to Claire, her friend, looking over her, saying, "Alice, wake up, wake up." So Alice wakes up, and she goes, "What's going on? How come I'm not dead?" And she goes, "Here, watch this little video clip." So the Alicia little girl, the Red Queen, comes on and explains that the antivirus just pulled all the T virus out of her system, and what happens is that now she's just, normally human, like how she was originally. So now she is the only living copy of Alice that is living. The Alicia copy, the original one, the old lady, she ended up blowing up the whole hive. I forgot to mention that earlier. I'm sorry. So that's why Alice is the only living organism, or the only living Alice that there is. So then from that point, Alicia, the old woman version, the original Alice, gives this current Alice all of her old memories, because if you remember from the very first movie, Alice cannot remember anything past the mansion scene. And the reason for that is because she was created by Dr. Isaacs as a copy of the original, basically saying that she was what the original Alicia always wanted to be but never could because she aged too quickly. So it's really interesting to see how this kind of all came together. I know that was really kind of confusing, and I can understand why you were looking up an explanation of the ending. I tried to articulate that as best as I could, just kind of shooting from the hip, because I just saw the movie tonight. So I hope that made some sense. Basically, what happens at the end is she realizes that the antivirus isn't going to work just overnight. She said it could take years for it to hit the entire Earth. So you see her ride back out into the Badlands on the motorcycle, and you see those zombie pterodactyls come flying down after her, and she's like, well, it looks like I still have some work to do, or whatever. And then eventually it just, fades out and hits to the credits, and then, the credits roll at that point. But if I had to give an overall, review of the film, it was visually fun to watch. It's, obviously it's nothing like the original. The original is always the best in my opinion, but all of the Resident Evil movies, have their own unique feel to them, in their own way, which I think is good. I think that's a good thing to have. But I enjoyed it. It was cool. It's sad to see it finally go, but I mean, they made 7 movies, I guess unless they're trying to compete with the Fast and the Furious, but at this point, the Fast and the Furious is going to keep going on and on and on forever, but we'll see what happens with that. But moving along, what did you guys think of Resident Evil, the final chapter? Tell me your thoughts in the comments section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. The channel's starting to do really well, so I would love for you all to be a part of it. And today's secret comment code, if you made it to the end of this video, I would love all of you to comment "Goodbye, Alice" in the comments section. Everyone write "Goodbye, Alice." I'd really appreciate it. But that is going to wrap things up. I hope this cleared the air for a lot of you. I would recommend going to see it. It was definitely worth seeing. It didn't totally meet all of my expectations, but it is what it is. So thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate you just listening to me talk here. I wish I could show video footage, but I can't. But that is going to do it for me. Thanks so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And this has been Movie Endings Explained, coming at you with another video. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for spending some time with us. Take care. Hope you guys have a great day.